The woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window. This has to be the best title ever. But yeah, look, from the first trailer, I got really interested because it kind of, from the title itself, it kind of like it says to me that it's a parody of the others in the genre, right? Especially of the woman in the window that came out just last year. And I was really, looking forward to this series after the trailer because it looked funny and it also looked like it was kind of like serious. And the show is exactly that. I watched the first episode. It's only 30 minutes too, so I just binged it all together. And I was not expecting the tone of the show to be like that because usually the parodies they go for a much funnier and a joke tone throughout. But this one, it was kind of weird, and I don't know if a lot of people will catch this, but they kept the seriousness of the show um, while also it being a parody. Like the lines they were saying were funny, but they were delivering it as if they were fully committed to being in this serious type of show, right?
Yeah.
And the actions and the lines, they were fully, funny, but they were delivering it with a serious face, as if they are actually experiencing that. And even the music, the score, it was not funny music or anything at all. It was just serious thriller music. And if you are someone that, watches this without seeing the trailer or without knowing it's a parody, I think you might get confused. Um, 1 second. Sorry, I was just fixing my camera. But yeah, you might get confused if you didn't know that. But to me, I think if you kind of, I don't know, I saw some people didn't understand that it was a parody, but to me, from the first episode itself, it just seemed like it was. And it's just absolutely hilarious, man. The things that happen here, the way certain scenes are, um, it just was very funnily done. But again, Kristen Bell, she was
Yeah.
great. She was great throughout, and the entire cast is awesome. They were really funny. There was this another character that's related to Kristen Bell's character, and he was also another cliche character that was very dumb and doing dumbass things, saying dumbass lines, but in a very serious manner. It was so funny seeing that, and one of the lines is, them saying, one of the characters tells this to Kristen Bell, right? That line is, you know what? I've always felt bad for you, and I used to pray for you, but now I don't feel bad anymore. I won't pray for you. That's an actual line.
Yeah.
It's
It's
so funny,
crazy.
man. Like, and also, it's not just about the parody. Like I said, it was committing to actually being a serious show as well. And within the jokes and all the stuff that it was parodying for other shows, like Woman in the Window, it actually has a good plot throughout the show. Like, it's not the best plot because obviously they're, doing a parody, but they actually have a story here behind the parody thing, and they have the actual suspense, they have an actual murder, they have an actual reveal and all that. And the reveal, I'm telling you, man, it's one of the best ever because you can never see it coming. Never
Yeah.
in a million years, nobody have guessed it, I think.
Yeah.
It's impossible to guess.
I only predicted it like a second before it happened because
Really?
yeah, because of what I don't want to go into it, but like I just a second before it happened, I was like, oh, it's that,
I
and
was
I
still
was.
falling for the red herring.
Yeah, but like the so Kristen Bell, she's alone, she's divorced, or slept with her husband, her daughter, her daughter. I'm laughing because the show, the way that they do such a serious thing in such a they take it in such a serious way, but the line deliveries or the lines the way they're written are just comical gold.
Yeah.
But they're delivered in such a serious way that you feel bad for laughing at times.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's all alone. She's alcoholic on medication, stuff like that, and she sees a murder and she thinks somebody across the street, and then she tries to discover who it is or what's happening and stuff like that. It's a big unraveling. As you said, the story, the twists and turns are actually pretty interesting, pretty fun, even though it's kind of like a soap opera, or like it's like a comedy movie, but it's not like a comedy movie because they take it in such a serious way. And I think she was pretty cool. Um, Kristen Bell as the character. She's a great comedian anyway. Anything that
Yeah.
she does. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was yeah, like the Amy Adams one that's kind of spoofing. I didn't like that movie. For me, that's more of a spoof than this show
I know,
was.
right? I actually like this one more. I thought that
Yeah,
was because that other show was going for a serious thing, but it was very bad. It was
yeah.
so bad.
It was The Room bad for me. It was just really bad.
Yes.
I don't
Like
know.
seriously bad. It was just
They should have said when they edited that film. They should have said that that film was what this show was doing, because then people would have been like, okay, okay, that's cool. We can see what they're trying to do. But
yeah.
yeah, there's big twist at the end. You'll never see it coming, and yeah, and then even so there's like a handyman that works on the mailbox outside of her home, and his character's weird. He also played a serial killer in Mindhunter, and he was pretty. I liked his character. He's probably my second favorite character
Oh,
after
I love
Kristen.
him. He was
He was so
so phenomenal in the first season of Mindhunter.
yeah, he was brilliant. So that's great casting, and like Matrix Resurrections was meta, Scream was meta. This show was pretty meta as well, because there's other deeper things there. I watched a few YouTube channels about going into what some other stuff means and what references it was, which I don't want to say because then it spoils some of the plot details. But yeah, it's only eight
She's also
episodes.
reading a book with a
Yeah,
similar title.
yeah, just reading the book at the same time, and she's the one looking out the window, and she's it's 30 minutes, 35 minutes episodes, eight episodes. You get through it I got through it in one sitting, so yeah.
Yeah.
And like it ends, and you want to watch the next episode, just
Yeah.
see what happens. But I could see people who go into this thinking as a serious like a murder mystery thriller show, and then watching it like, what the hell is this? Like, what is this? This is terrible. I can understand
Yeah.
people that happen to people, but
Because there's some very illogical stuff and conveniences happen here that actually is a dig on the other things that happen in the other serious shows, especially The Woman in the Window. Like in that movie, out of nowhere, the third act, the killer comes in. Out of nowhere, there's nothing going on, and he comes in. It starts raining. It was, it was so bad, dude.
even the detective as well, like the detective always comes in and does these same things the whole time. The detective in this show was brilliant, and there's what's that line that you love? So basically, there's a stripper, and he gets arrested for the murders, but he didn't do it that night because he was working. What was the line the police officer said?
Yeah, so the detective comes in and talks to Kristen Bell about, how that guy's probably not the killer. And one of the things she says is, he's not the killer. The only thing he slayed that night was his dance moves.
In the most
In the most
serious
serious
way
way.
possible. And I think that line right there, that just sums up the entire show.
Yeah. I died, dude. That was so funny because, like, literally, it's like a serious scene with serious score, and her delivery is very serious as well. And Kristen Bell's reaction to that line is also serious. But when
Like,
you read
like,
that line on paper, it's comedy.
but like in comedies, like that was a full blown comedy. There would be like a pause after that.
Yeah,
Here, she says the line, and then they move on to the next thing. They just keep
yeah,
going, and you're like, should I laugh at that? What? I feel a bit awkward right now. That's so funny, but then we're over here. It's. I think it was performed well by all the actors, written well as well, and I would love to see a season 2 because
yeah.
it's only 30 minutes. It's an easy watch.
Yeah, I've seen this get some mixed reviews, but I think that's because of the marketing. but I also think that the marketing was on purpose.
Yeah.
The trailer, I've seen it after seeing the show as well, and the trailer does a good job at, you know, keeping you guessing on if whether if it's, you know, a comedy, a parody, or if it's actually a serious show, you know, because the music kind of is funny, but is also very dramatic, like how horror movies or thrillers are, you know, how those trailers are. So
Yeah.
I think the marketing is perfect, and I think the show is also brilliant. But I can see why people are not liking this. But yeah,
And also the last episode and that kind of twist and turn and stuff. It's kind of an homage to a massive franchise that I don't want to spoil because it'll give it away, which I'll talk about on privately to you. But I love that because the way it was performed and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about with the what happens and how it happens, and
yeah.
it's just comical. But it reminds me of something. But I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, it was definitely check this one out.